If you're looking to get some cheap games, PSN codes, Xbox codes, things like that, check out g2a.com. Use MGH at checkout for a discount. Hey guys, welcome to another FIFA 17 video where we're talking about the January updates in Ultimate Team and FIFA in general. In the last episode, which went up yesterday, please do check it out. It was the upgrades. We're now talking about downgrades. So we've got quite a few players to get through. Let's start off with Z. We've got Zabaleta, or is it Z? Let me know how you say it, Z or Z. But basically, guys, Zabaleta is one of many Man City players that are just underperforming this season, especially as of late. They started off well, but not doing so well at the moment. But Zabaleta, for me, is one of their players that just definitely isn't as good as he used to be, but that could be down to age. I would downgrade him from an 82 to an 81. At this point, I should definitely remind you that, one, I may miss a couple of players, and two, it's my opinion, and that means it can cause quite a lot of controversy, and this one is a good one to talk about. John Terry. A lot of Chelsea fans will not like this, but hopefully you'll understand my reasoning. So John Terry, there's no doubt about it, a legend, a Chelsea legend, and, you know, many, many years for England as well. Almost an England legend. It didn't end so well, but I think 84 rated is just too high for Terry. I think 82 is absolutely fair. Maybe 83 is still pushing it a little bit in my opinion, but he definitely deserves a downgrade. He's not really playing at the moment. And like I said, 84 is just too high. Over to another English player now, and we have Sturridge. Again, Liverpool fans might not be too happy about this, but again, I hope you understand my reasoning behind this. I think Sturridge, a couple of seasons ago, was the best English striker in the Premier League. Along with Suarez, they were just incredible. But as of late, injuries, poor form, I don't think Sturridge deserves an 84, and I don't think he deserves an 83. You've got to look around other players in the Premier League and kind of compare ratings, and I think Sturridge is on par with some other 82 rated players if you ask me, so I would downgrade him by 2. Now we're talking about a player that was absolutely incredible in the Euros, got a big move from Newcastle to Spurs, and yeah, that's the end of the story. He has not been a very good signing for Tottenham, and he was expensive. I think, what, it was 30 million, 29 million pounds, something like that. I don't think he's been very good. I think that he needs to be played down the middle, if you ask me. I wouldn't play him out on the wing, but Tottenham seem to see him as a right mid, and I think because of that, he hasn't been able to show what he's got, and I would downgrade him to 79. Is Luke Shaw one of the most overhyped young English players of all time? Certainly in my time, I think he might be, guys. I don't see it. At Southampton, I thought, okay, he has potential to be good, but after moving to United, it just hasn't happened. And Mourinho's openly said that he's having a tough time at the moment and that they would actually listen to offers, apparently. That's a rumour, at least. And I would downgrade him to 79 as well. I think 80 is just that little bit too high. But by the way, his card in Ultimate Team is still really, really good. And talking of really good Ultimate Team cards, Remy is another. He is incredible in this game. But let's be real, guys. 81 rated. Remy isn't really playing much for Crystal Palace. I believe yesterday he got his first start in a loss, as usual, for Crystal Palace. And I think he will be getting a downgrade down to about 80. I think that's fair enough. And now for the ex-Arsenal man, Sanya, another one of the Arsenal players that moved to City, and he is due a massive downgrade. I don't know how he's playing so many games for City. Every time I watch him, you could say he's consistent, but I would say he's consistently below average. Just not a very good player anymore. Is it age? I think it could be. He's still, you know, very athletic. He's still a decent player, but Man City will never win the Premier League with a defence with Sanya in it. That's my opinion. I would downgrade him down to 80. Over to Arsenal now, and we have Ramsey. It's a bit of a difficult one, this, because Ramsey, when he plays well, he's brilliant. He's absolutely spectacular, and it's just a shame that we don't see it so often. A couple of seasons ago, he had a really good season, scored plenty of goals, and looked to be that fantastic player that we invested in. But since then, he hasn't recovered that form, and I would downgrade him by 1 to 83. Oh, Payet. Oh, dear, oh, dear. What has happened to Payet? He is one day a club legend. You know, he's as good as Zinedine Zidane, apparently, according to the song. But then the next moment, he wants to leave. He doesn't want to play, and they all hate him. And I completely get it. He is so unprofessional. He hasn't even had a good season. I wouldn't keep him at 86 rated. I would downgrade him, and I would sell him right now. Get rid of him. No player is bigger than the club, right? Now, over to Man City again. We have another defender, and it's Otamendi. Laughable at times. Absolutely laughable. He is, don't get me wrong, he has got something there. He is a good defender. I think he has his days where he's a good defender. But this season, we haven't seen it, and I would give him a downgrade by at least 2. There is no way that he deserves an 85 rated card, let alone an 84. So for me, 83 would be more than fair enough. And he's not the only defender on this list. We've seen Sanya, and there is more to come. And of course, Zabaleta as well. But at the other end, we have Nolito. When he signed, I thought, okay, interesting. He will be, I think, pretty decent for City. And he started off okay. He got a couple of goals, a couple of assists, but since then, nothing. And again, is it down to age? He's 30 now. Is he coming to the end of his peak? Maybe so. But Nolito hasn't been playing much recently, and when he does, he gets subbed off. He's nothing special, basically. I think 83 is too high. Maybe 82, but I'd give him an 81. So as we all know, last season was an absolute miracle for Leicester. They won the Premier League, and this year they just haven't been able to rediscover that form. They're down near the relegation zone. And I think one of their problems is they haven't invested in their defence. Morgan, and there is another player coming, and you can probably guess who it is, but Morgan, for me, this season has just looked a shadow of himself. Last season he was incredible. This season he might even go down to a 77, but because we've seen how good he is, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and we'll give him a 78. And now back to Arsenal. Mertesacker, I love this guy. I love him as a person. I don't love him as a player. I mean, I can't imagine putting him into the first team right now. He's recently signed an extra year. I think we're basically keeping him at the club because all the players like him. He's captain of the club. And I think that, you know, he could play in the league games. He could maybe play a game or two in the Premier League. But for me, Mertesacker, there is no way he's as good as his card says. He might even go down to an 81, but I'm going to give him an 82 just because I love him. And again, another flop signing from the summer. Actually, I will say though, when I saw this signing, I thought, wow, they've got a really good player there. Mandanda, one of the best keepers in the French league, and he just hasn't really turned up, has he? And I think even giving him an 83 is a little bit too generous, maybe 82. And I remember Alan Pardew said he was the best signing of the summer. Well, he's been fired, and look how good Mandanda is now. And now for last year's player of the season, Mahrez. He was 86 rated at one point. You remember that? 86 rated? Well, now in career mode, he's 84. And I think, you know, they started 85 this season with Mahrez. He's definitely going to get a downgrade. And I think 84 is probably where he should be. He's still got something. I think that now he's at Leicester and they're struggling. He's not in the limelight so much. I think if he was to move to a bigger club, you know, maybe if he did get a move to Barcelona, something like that, we would see how good he is once again. But for now, I would downgrade him by 1. I'm sorry, City fans. I know you love him. I love him. I still think Kompany is one of the best defenders, but he is so injury prone. He's barely played for the last 2 seasons. For me, he has to be downgraded. And can you give him an 85? Can you? I don't think you can even give him an 85, so I've downgraded him by 2. Hopefully he gets fit and stays fit because, my God, Man City need him. And it doesn't stop there, guys. Kolarov. Oh, my God. I can't believe that Pep Guardiola actually puts this guy in defence. For me, if you're going to play Kolarov, have him on that left side. Put him on left mid. Let him take free kicks, things like that. But don't play him at centre-back. What are you doing? So I think he will get a position change, and I think he will get downgraded by 1. But this season, he's been pretty woeful. Now back to Leicester again. I was talking about Morgan. This is his partner, Robert Huth. I mean, he's done it all. He's done everything. Huth is one of the better players and one of the most underrated players over the last 10 years, if you ask me. But 80 rated, not so sure. Last season, yes, 100%. But now this season, we're seeing, again, just like Morgan, they just can't keep up with that kind of form, and I would downgrade him. Darmian at Manchester United, one of their weaker signings over the years, and they've made a lot of signings. Darmian just has not looked very good. He's had a couple of good games here and there, but in general, I don't think he deserves to hold that 80 rated card. I would downgrade him by 1. And once again, guys, back to Man City. This time it's another ex-Arsenal player that moved to City, and it's Clichy. This guy, basically, if you ask me, all he had was pace. He had pace, and now he doesn't even have that. He's lost that pace, if you ask me. He gets owned down that wing all the time. And for me, he has to be downgraded. And now, Arsenal fans, please don't kill me. I think actually quite a few people will agree with me. Petr Cech, one of the best keepers of all time in the Premier League. Don't get me wrong, but I think this season we're starting to see maybe he's losing it a little bit. I think he might just be past it, guys. And he's been a brilliant signing for us. I think it's not just about on the pitch, it's off the pitch as well. Having someone like Petr Cech in the changing room is huge. But 88 rated? Really? No, I don't think so. I think 86 would be more than fair enough for Petr Cech. He's still a good keeper, don't get me wrong, but he's not 88 rated good. And you guessed it, guys, back to Man City again. And for me, this guy has to have a downgrade more than any other player I've talked about so far. Bravo is hilarious to watch. He's so nervous on the ball. He's not confident whatsoever, and it's laughable sometimes at how poor this guy is in goal. He had a fantastic time at Barcelona. I thought he was really, really good. But what you see now is the pressure of the Premier League, the amount of shots that the keeper has to actually defend against and try and save, compared to La Liga, where they have just absolute domination when you're in a team like Barcelona. So for me, he has been found out and he has to get a downgrade, maybe even down to 82. But I've given him an 83 just because I doubt EA will do more than that. And now, guys, for the final player of this episode, probably a controversial one, but for me, Aguero, since the first 3 months of the season, along with City's form, he hasn't played very well at all, and I would downgrade him by 1. I think he's at least on par with Sanchez, who I gave an 88 in the last episode, so I think that would be okay. I think that would be fair, but there's no way he's as good as he has been over the years. But then again, this is Aguero. He can just turn up at any point and score a hat-trick. So again, it wouldn't blow my mind if they don't downgrade him and leave him as he is, because he will rediscover his form anytime soon. But thank you for watching, guys. That is the end of the Premier League downgrades video. Let me know if you've enjoyed this type of video. I would like to do some more like this in the future. It doesn't have to be downgrades and upgrades, of course. It could be just talking about things that are in the news, stuff like that. But make sure you check out the upgrades version as well. That's on my channel. And I will see you soon for another video.